to
Shut the Smut Up.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good.
How are you guys?
Hopefully fantastic.
Fantastic.
In summer.
It is summer.
Yeah.
Gross.
I know, it's hot
It's
as
hot.
shit.
Anyways, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Book of Azrael by Amber v. Nicole.
What a great book.
It was so good.
It was a good book.
So this was actually my very first book I ever saved on Book Talk. And it took me forever to read this.
It's been about a year.
And I don't understand why. Because it's so good. Like, I get the hype.
I think it was the hype that probably, and obviously we have a never-ending TBR.
Well, and then things just shuffle and get either lower or higher. It's a never-ending thing.
Yeah, us. I think we had finally decided like we were going to read When the Moon Hatched, and then we were like, and then after that, then we're going to read the Book of Azrael.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
But then I also am like, well, I have other books I need to read, and then it's just never-ending.
It is.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Right. What did you rate this book?
I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I feel like I keep shuffling in between like a 4.5 to a 4.75, and the reason I'm going to say that is because I just immediately started into the second book, and so sometimes my ratings change when I start reading the second book. So right now that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I would give it a 4.5. There's a very good introduction to the characters, Diana, as well as
a great start to the series.
Sam Kill.
Yeah, that's how I say it.
Sam Kill.
Oh, I love Liam.
He's like your golden retriever,
But not at the start. Not at the start.
Yeah, he's your like kill me, depress me.
Yeah.
Type of character.
Yeah, literally. So, like you said, I think it's a great start to the series.
Yeah, the 7-book series apparently.
Oh, I
7 books.
I can't wait. I'm fine with that.
Well, where are we gonna go? That's a lot of books for just 2 people being the main characters.
That's true. Yeah, but you've also got a bunch of other people around it and stuff. But the villains in this are fantastic. I love that Diana, the main gal, is so just witty and sassy, and I feel like she gets to be this she's basically the villain to start out. You know what I mean? And I feel like it gets better and worse, and it's you ride this wave with her, but you don't even care. She just will do anything for her sister, which I love. And I love when her and Liam first meet. So good.
I really think Diana, it makes me think of this book was written kind of based on Vampire Diaries in a sense, right?
Oh yeah,
because Diana,
I didn't think about that.
In a sense when you think of vampires, right? They're supposed to be evil and these badass, but she has her humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she struggles between being that evil and having that humanity and caring for things.
She's got a little bit of a conscience.
Yeah. And I think it really revolves around her sister, right? Yeah.
And I feel like her sister's a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
Just literally a ray of sunshine. She's very positive. She's just I don't know. The whole concept of the book is very interesting. So
it's angels and demons.
Yeah. I also loved it's funny because whenever we try to pronounce things and we talk about this, we're like, okay, how did you say this?
Yeah.
So the way I said what creature she is, it's called an Agamorphin. Morathin?
Yeah.
I could say that completely wrong. It probably is wrong.
That's a word that I just skipped over.
Yeah, so it's one of those that I'm like, is it a big deal? It's fine. It starts with an I.
She's a demon.
It's basically all of these creatures came from that line of creatures. So you've got your vampires and different things. So she's got fangs, right? And she can transform. So she's basically a shapeshifter as well into different beasts and stuff, which is so badass. I love that. especially when she transforms into like the
Her wyvern.
yeah, like the wyvern type thing, which and then she explains it is like most people would call it a dragon, but it's like a wyvern. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
yeah.
doesn't have the 4 legs; it's just the wings and then the legs. And
And
like
it's her favorite.
oh, it's so good. And she just like when she's in that form, I love it. It's so good. I just feel like I fangirl over this book a lot, and
I feel like I fangirl over Diana.
Yeah.
Like, I just Diana is just a character that you just can't help but fangirl
Yeah.
over, right? Because we don't see a lot of these books where a female is the villain.
And I love it.
And I mean, unless you count like assassins as villains, right?
I think that's why I love Diana so much, is because it gives me all those vibes that all the assassin books and like all like I like the morally gray women. I like when they're so badass and they don't give a shit.
Yeah. But just the premise around Diana and just how she is this evil creature, but she has her humanity. You just don't see that within books, and it just made it really interesting. And then you have Liam Samkiel, who is just he's not what you would think for a main male character.
No.
He's the opposite of like he's not the villain. He's not the villain in this book, which
and you would think that he is.
Yeah. So it's just interesting.
Yeah. So another thing that's really cool, back to how they met, right? Mm-hmm. So Diana can do something, and I can't remember what they call it, but I want to call it skinwalking. I don't know if that's from another book, but
no, skinwalking is like a real thing. I mean,
so she can like look at something and transform into it. So like her imagination is the limit, right? So there's been like this huge war between basically like these creatures and then the gods, like and the celestials, which is basically the premise of the book, right?
Yeah, demons versus angels.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's been like I think it's like 1,000 years or something like that. And basically Diana has been to save her sister. She basically got turned kind of against her will, but she said she would do anything to save her sister, and she will, right? So basically 1,000 years down the road, she's basically been kind of a slave to this guy named Caden, right? And he's the one that changed her into this beast. So she works for him, basically is like slaughters who he says to slaughter, does, you know what I mean, like does all these
the grunt
things.
work.
Yeah.
And she's the
but she's blade. Also the favorite, right?
Yep.
But he just like messes with her brain and all the things, and he uses her sister as leverage. So he's always holding the sister over her head. Well, you're not going to get to see her, all this thing. So she does what she has to do because that's the last family she has. Their parents have died. The worlds have basically merged. All these things, and you find out about that later on into the second book. But to come back, the first meeting, so Samkiel, Liam, whatever, he's been like he had a rebellious like youth, right? And he has basically this little cadre, like this little group that's called the Hand, and it's basically some of his friends, but they basically like protect each other, do all these things, but and they're just friends, right?
Yeah, they're close acquaintances. Yeah. Like these are handpicked. Mm-hmm. That's why they're the Hand, right? Like by him.
Yeah, and it's really funny. So so he hasn't seen them because he shut himself away. He's really depressed. His dad had died in the war. He blames himself for a lot of things. Their home world was like destroyed, all of that stuff. And so having the backstory, and there's also, it's a multi-point of view book, which I love. Some people don't, but I do love it. I think it gives you
more to the story.
Yeah, and I think it gives you more in depth on your characters. So that being said, he just is like this burly, bearded, long hair, whatever, like looks disheveled, which he's technically a celestial, correct? Because his dad was a god, but the mom was a celestial?
No. Well, yes, but he is a god, though.
Yeah.
He's the last living one.
Yeah. So anyways, there's like a whole god council, all that stuff. So they're having a meeting, right? And they are working closely with the humans. And Diana basically disguises herself as one of the humans and I can't remember if she like what she has. She has something in her hand or something, and she's like, "Wow!" Like basically like clapping, like, "Wow, this is. I'm not very impressed. This is the god everybody talks
Yeah,
about, like
this is the
king."
world ender.
Yeah, that's one of his nicknames is the world ender, and so she's like, "Wow!" Like just sarcastic as fuck. And I feel like that. I just loved that so much. And then all of a sudden she transforms. And in this chapter, you get Liam's point of view.
Yes.
And so it's like all of a sudden she turns into this like raven beauty, right? And she just starts bringing shit down.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to destroy this building now.
Yes, which she's not supposed to. She went against orders because they're looking for this book, right? Called the Book of Azrael. And so I'm just gonna keep going because I just loved it.
Sure, just talk.
And so it's just like I feel like this book was one that made me giddy, like kick your feet giddy.
Well, there was parts that just like you have to laugh out loud, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's like their banter from the beginning. Like I love when they're mean to each other. It's like be mean.
It's foreplay.
It's so good. It's Nick from New Girl when he's like, "Quit being mean to me or swear to God I'm going to fall in love with you."
It could be.
It just I don't know who said it, but it just like makes me laugh. And if you know anything else about me, I love when somebody gets captured and then they get tortured. It's awful, but it just adds so much to the plot.
Damn, we know what you like.
No, I like it in books. In books. Oh my god, we wouldn't last a second. Are you kidding me?
You could be tortured in bed.
Oh, stop. No. Anyways, so she basically goes against orders and gets captured, and
does she get captured?
She does. Because she's trying to get away, right? And he literally uses his powers to drag her wyvern form down. And she's shocked. Shut up. So she's shocked at this point because she's like, oh my god, like nobody's ever been able to like match her powers, right?
Correct.
Besides Caden, because she basically came from Caden, if that makes sense. But people are terrified of her. Like even people on the dark side, the bad side, right?
Well, yeah, she's Caden's right hand man. I mean, she is.
Yeah.
There's a way that they put it where like, but she's the evil bitch like that Caden sends out there to.
She walks and she has like an image, right? Like he like waves the wave of his hands or his fingers, and she's just like dropping people in fiery pits, kind of thing. And it literally that does happen. So it's like she's shocked that he has enough power to actually bring her down, and she goes, "Oh, okay, like whatever." So, anyways, I can't remember. I think he knocks her out or whatever, and then she wakes up in like
a cell.
Yeah, in a cell, and there's like people around, and she gets lit up. She gets
angry, and then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna leave you here because I'm gonna go," and she basically like breaks out of this prison. Like she's the first person to ever do it.
Because it's Diana, and Diana can do anything and everything. Yeah, she's that cool.
She turns into her dragon form and just busts right out of that prison, and
it's so good.
Busts in and stops him from doing whatever he was doing, and yeah, it was badass.
It's so good. I feel like it's one of those that like I have little scenes, obviously, that like I just will remember.
I think like one of the better scenes, and this could be a spoiler for everybody, but
we're always spoilery.
Was when when Tobias and Ezekiel, is that how you say his name?
I think so.
Ezekiel came to like break her out, right?
Oh wait, no, Alistair.
Oh, Alistair. Yeah, Alistair.
But there is somebody named that, isn't there?
No, I don't know where I got it. Then.
I don't know. It sounds like a god name.
It does.
Yeah, Alistair.
Maybe I was going with
Alistair.
There's a part where Tobias and Alistair come to like rescue her, right?
Yeah.
Because she gets captured again.
Diana's just over here being
and
like not smart about a few things, but I love it.
Yeah, they're also kind of like Caden's right hand people, so they come to save her because Caden wants his bitch back.
Yeah.
And where Diana just like spins that knife around, Logan's knife, which is the hand to Liam, and he just like she uses that knife and just fucking shoves it right up his fucking like in his mouth. It makes me think of Underworld. The second movie where she does that to whatever the hybrid is, and she just shoves it right up his like own wing.
I forgot about
right
that.
Up his head. So it made me think of that.
But they're like really hard to kill.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're like these like high demons, right? But obviously we know that they have a weakness, and whatever she did by just like jamming it up his brain, it killed him. And
I feel like in this book there is a lot of just really cool fight scenes.
Yeah, this book is actually very action packed.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's big, but
they're actually big battles.
Yeah, like just, and I love that because there's nothing worse than like when like it's a letdown, and I feel like there's not really anything in this book to me that was a letdown. Everything was freaking cool as shit.
Except for that it was a fucking slow burn.
Oh, she is a
slow burn queen.
Slow mother effing burn. But like it's so
loved it
angsty.
At the same time.
Yes. This is like slow burn done right.
Yes.
Like. It's like an actual true slow burn.
I mean, yes, there are some spice and some stuff in it, but like
but not much. It's like a
like dickin'. Which we wanted.
Yeah, it takes you
until the end of the book.
Yeah, and that's not even
anything.
Then. Yeah, and it's just a little baby snippet. It's not even like full blown spice, you know. But
it's foreplay.
Yeah, literally. So another thing that kind of, along with like the plot of stuff, right? So I'm gonna rewind a little bit.
That's fine.
There is so Caden's got Tobias, Diana, and Alistair.
Yes, Alistair.
Yeah, Alistair looking for this book, right? So she can shapeshift. So she's like sniffing it out, like, oh, there's something here. There's different remnants of like temples of where things were left or different things. And for some reason, she's able to kind of like, she's like, oh, I can sense something, right? So she ends up going down in this. She wasn't supposed to engage, right? Diana doesn't listen, and we love it. It's okay.
She does what she wants.
Yeah. So she ends up going down in this temple type thing, right? And there's a bunch of books and all these things. Well, she runs into a celestial, and it's her first encounter with the celestial. So before she meets Liam, before any of this, right? And he glows blue. Like he's got, like his powers are basically blue.
Blue energy.
Yeah. And so the banter even with those two. So when we first got this introduction, I almost thought that was going to be the main man. But the banter just between this random character that actually doesn't end up surviving.
That dies right off the bat.
That scene of her fighting and him being shocked that she can fight the way she does and how fast she is, right? Because the Celestials all thought that these creatures were all gone. Right? That everybody got killed on this other world. Is it like Reshiram?
Yeah, Reshiram.
Yeah.
Reshiram.
Yes, however you would say that. And so that little scene with them fighting and Diana just being quick-witted and like all this stuff, right? So she ends up like being ready to like kill him, and one of the really cool powers that Diana has. Take it away, since I keep talking. With the blood.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, wait.
My brain's going 1,000 miles an hour today because this book is so good.
And she wasn't going to kill him. She was going to capture him.
Yeah,
right?
Because they want information. So one of the really useful things Diana can do
is when she drinks their blood, she can take in their memories. She can see their life. She can see what they've done, who they've talked to, what about.
Depending on how much she drinks.
Correct. So she takes his blood to see if like he's got any information on this book, and there's not like.
She just finds out that there is going to be basically a get together, which is when she meets Liam. That's how she finds out, correct?
No, because
wait, that's another guy. Because Tobias can. No.
No.
So, Alistair's the one that can get into people's minds.
So
and
Diana finds out, and she's like, "Well, Caden's going to want to talk to you."
Yeah.
And so this guy, don't remember his name because he's obviously not in the book very long.
I think that's why you said Ezekiel. I think his name starts with an E or something like
He
that.
kills himself and he turns into a flash of blue light that
Like-
goes into the sky. And that is when Liam feels it. And he sees the light, even though he's not there at the
Yeah.
same time, because he's the last living God. And that's what brings Liam back into the story.
And that's another reason why they all hate Diana. Because Diana let everybody believe that she actually killed him. And so, yeah, it's good. Just, it's like these small little scenes are so impactful. You know what I mean? And it's like,
they have so much meaning to them.
Yeah, I just feel like every little thing, which I wonder if this is why she's gonna have like 7 books, but I feel like every little thing means something.
It's all snippets. I mean, it's though they're all clues. It's kind of like Taylor Swift hinting at her new album or a song or a re-release. Like there's all these clues, right, that you need to remember and keep watch of to be able to get to the final thing.
Yeah. Well, and so anyways, fast forward to when you said that she escaped, right? But in my brain I'm thinking, because weren't they were transporting her.
Oh fuck yeah.
See?
I did. I went way too far.
That's okay. So I was like sitting
here. Too far. Yeah, so she kills Alistair and then she brings Logan back to
because
Liam,
she's being, but like,
she doesn't escape until he goes to pick up her sister.
Right. Okay. Side note: in the celestial god type thing, there's this mark called the mark of why do I want to say Disham or something? I don't know. There's like a mark that like it's your amata, your mate, right? And so Logan and his wife, whatever, his mate, have this, right? So Diana ends up like she's seen things in the memory. Like she has tasted
love and everything.
She tasted his blood and she couldn't do it. So when Alistair goes to kill him, she ends up
killing Alistair.
Yeah, so she basically starts switching sides. But it was just a split decision, and it like everything just spirals after this, right? So she ends up transporting Logan and her, just their bloody messes, right? Because the transport vehicle just has rolled, and they are in the middle of this like
gathering, meeting,
like gala, whatever the hell is. Everybody's dressed up, and it just describes them as being totally disheveled and like just bloody, and it's crazy because then they just like immediately surround her, right? And she's like, well, you need to like get him help or whatever, and basically but goes, and she's like at his neck or something. Like
she has him. She has her claws,
and so she like her like talons or whatever they say that it is, and they say basically she tells Sam Kill or Liam that if you don't go get my sister and keep her safe, then I'm gonna kill him, and you only have so long basically to, you know what I mean, help him out. And his mate's like looking at Liam like, please, you know what I mean? And so they end up doing a blood bond.
Correct.
And so that he'll keep the sister safe. So then they go
on the other thing was, though, that she would help him find the Book of Azrael.
Yes. So even though he doesn't think that it exists.
Because Azrael apparently died on Rishriam.
Yeah, during that big God War. And so it sends you on this whole thing where then you have this forced proximity, which is like when that slow burn starts burning, right? And you just like are like, oh, I can't wait for this. But they go on some like interesting little adventures and stuff.
It's a huge road trip.
Yeah.
For them.
And so it's one of those things where it slows down a bit, but it doesn't feel that way because now the romance is coming into it. But like, you start this book with a bang and you end it with a bang. Like,
that is for sure.
Yeah. And so it's just interesting watching her and Liam. There's these really cute, like weird moments, right? And I feel like this is one of those that it's like you don't want to ruin too much, like knowing kind of what is going on. And then moving forward, they're trying to find this book, blah, 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 blah. They finally end up, after they like start, she kind of brings Liam out of his shell.
Yeah, she's helping him because he's got night terrors and he just
And he
doesn't
doesn't feel like he
sleep
can
and
talk to
eat.
anybody.
And so she's there and she's
And
like,
it's like
well,
so cute.
I pinky promise. And a pinky promise is like a big thing within this book, right? Like
Yeah,
it's like
because
how
her
they
and her
start.
sister did it growing up.
Yep, and it's how they start their friendship
And it does start out as like a friendship. And
Mhm.
it's funny because you see Diana as this like really like
she's supposed to be this evil
right
creature and
she's just trying to help him because she knows her sister would help.
correct. Yeah, she's wanting to be the better version of herself.
And you like love that side of her to see like the compassion too. Especially when she just like doesn't give a shit and will slaughter people.
Yeah,
and
she don't care about anybody
and then all of
else.
a sudden she's like compassionate and you're like, oh, I love her.
Yep. Yeah, because she's being betrayed throughout the book constantly by friends that she's thinking are friends, right? And she really realizes that like Liam is the only one that she can trust at this point.
Yeah, well, Caden's basically put out like a whole thing on her because
bounty.
He's obsessed with her. And
I mean, you would be too, though, if you were to create this creature from yourself, right? And she is like,
I can't wait till you figure out some more stuff in the second book. I can't help it.
I've already had to stop myself from fucking saying things about book 2.
It's really hard to make a video after you've started a second book. I will tell you that. Because when you do start the second book,
you forget about the first book.
It's amazing. So like that's why I'm struggling with my rating, and I want to say that it's between a 4.5 and like a 4.7.
So I will tell you, you said when we talked after you finished, you were getting it. You as of right then, you were between a 4.75 and like.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So you're just gonna 4.75.
Okay, great. Thanks. I can't make a decision, but like after you get through all this stuff and like the lead up to this last scene with Caden and all these people and Diana is like you said getting betrayed left and right. There is a situation that happens that we're not going to ruin because it impacts the whole series, and it ends the book. We had to cut it because I said I wasn't going to spoil things, and then I spoiled it. It's so good, but just like the last like little bit of her and like Liam and all the things and them going on this whole adventure. It's
their relationship is so beautiful, like fucking because they start out as friends. They start out. Well, no, they start out as freaking enemies. This is like an enemies to lover, but it's
like enemies to friends to lovers.
Yeah, they're
is it though?
They're not like going right into from enemies into lovers in a sense, right?
Yeah. Like
they're actually like building a relationship.
Yeah. Like it's not just like an insta love.
Yeah, they're building something.
I mean, for hell's sakes, he tortured her. He literally like electrocuted her like from the inside out.
So and it's just well written.
I loved it. I loved every second of this book, and I devoured
Amber's first book. Like this is just
like very first.
Yeah, phenomenal. At least published or anything that I know of. It is phenomenal, and just I love the whole angels and demons, and Diana can shapeshift, and she's supposed to be this evil creature when in all reality she just wants the best for her and her sister.
Yeah. She's watching out for her family.
Human. She's human, right? She's not evil.
That is something she goes back and says is that she's supposed to be this being that doesn't have feelings and all this stuff, but she's struggled with like her human feelings. And they say that her weakness is her human heart.
Yeah, it's her heart. Yeah.
But all in all, like this book was fantastic. I mean, it doesn't really have that much spice, but it's slow burn and it's so
a very slow burn and just like the right word, angst? Is that?
I think there is some angst there.
So was that the right word?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it gets kind of angsty.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's great. Just pick up the fucking book and read it.
You will not regret it.
Yeah, this is a book like I think that anybody could really get into because there's not a lot of world building. Like it flowed really easy. The action scenes just are gripping.
Yeah.
And even when there's not any action scenes, like Carly said, like where they're road tripping in a sense, it flows so nice into the next scene. Yeah,
I agree. But there's like little things that happen along that road trip that it's all interesting.
Correct.
All of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
have to stop myself because I keep trying to talk about the second book because I'm already obsessed. So I can't wait for you to finish that book so that we can discuss it.
Almost done.
Okay. I don't really have anything else to say because I keep trying to spoil things. So be sure to like and subscribe.
Read the book.
Yes.
And just come along on the journey.
Yes. Of all of our craziness.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately. What? Fortunately.
Well, unfortunately, we're crazy and we don't have the time. We're just like rambling idiots.
I don't care. It's fine. We have fun.
It is.
All right.
For us, it's fun. For them, you'll have to let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.